On this video, we discuss the question of why should you care about sexual energy? Why should you spend time thinking about it, training or learning about it? It's a very relevant question for this initial part of the series, since you can better analyze if this is worthwhile for you or not. Maybe you reach the conclusion that you already have a good grasp at sexual energy, even if unconsciously, so you prefer not to waste time with it. Otherwise, you might also reach the conclusion that sexual energy is probably one of the factors holding you back from your success in life and in your dating, and as such, you should understand and train it. So we can summarize 3 main reasons of why you need to master this energy. First of all, for our own energetic behavior, mental and emotional control. Being the loose cannon as it is, sexual energy influences pretty much all our actions, especially in our current Western society where sex is present all over the place. If you are not aware of it and just let it run free without any observation and control, who knows what you'll find? Then this will be dependent upon the contents of your subconscious mind regarding sex and sexual feelings. Depending on your subconscious and how you were taught how to handle this energy when you were a small child, you'll have more or less problems with it. If you are anxious or nervous around the opposite sex, or if your behavior is different in any way, like running out of things to say, or develop some kind of sexual dysfunction or problem, or have many psychosomatic issues in your body, or if you always feel that you are restraining or controlling yourself, your sexual energy might not be used correctly. On most cases, it also manifests in our mental and emotional life, since our thoughts tend to be less than natural, such as, well, I shouldn't think this way about her, or I shouldn't feel this desire, and so on. If you feel restrained in yourself in some way, like most likely it's related to a repressed sexual energy. And by mastering the sexual energy, you can finally behave naturally around women, especially around those that raise your own sexual feelings or you feel nervous around, since you're now accepting and controlling your own sexual impulses. Whatever feelings that you have inside of yourself that are causing the awkward or nervous behaviors can be fully controlled and mastered once you understand how this energy is flowing inside of you. The most common scenario I see with students is nervousness due to not allowing the sexual energy to circulate freely. The situation goes something like this. They meet a woman that raises sexual feeling in them, which is very common. Then, all in the space of a few seconds, sexual feelings start to want to spread over their body, but due to previously body conditioning, these feelings are blocked out. They are blocked out by your own body. The energy is not allowed to move and flow, and as such, everything else is stuck. Nervousness appears, anxiety appears, and so on. Imagine that the gasoline of your car is only reaching the engine by small parts and not fluidly. Most likely, the car won't run at all, or run with hiccups. This is what happens with sexual energy. You are not allowing the full range of its expression. Those who are called natural seducers fully accept and express their sexual energy, even if it's only in an unconscious way, and those around them feel it, which leads to the second reason. The second reason to master this energy is to achieve what we want to achieve: sexual attractiveness, sexual magnetism, a busier and happier dating and sexual life. Those with a healthy expression of sexual energy simply attract more people to them, be it for romantic interests, but also for friendship and overall people wanting to be around them. This is related to your own mind quality and personal magnetism. What energy are you projecting to the outside world in general? Some people have a strong sexual quality, even when they are not trying, and they can be very sexual, while others have a strong negative quality overall, or a very dramatic one, the so-called drama queens. Obviously, to maximize the success of your dating and sexual life, you want a high sexual magnetism and a very prevalent sexual mind quality so that you can transmit sexuality around you even when you're not trying and naturally attract others to yourself. That's our goal with most of our sexual energy trainings, to transform your energy and your mind into free-flowing sexual energy, to allow the full range of expression so that you can unconsciously use it in your life. I've had a few students in the past who were never very successful in their dating lives. Even when they learn seduction methods and techniques, they never quite get them to work for them, which is no surprise considering the blocks of their sexual energy. Once they were released and the sexual energy was allowed to run freely inside of them, all of a sudden, even the previous techniques they learned started to work for them, and their dating life was completely transformed since, despite not being very physically attractive, their sexuality was off the charts. And everyone feels it, the same way that you feel a sexual woman despite her being extremely beautiful or not. This is not a miracle story, so to speak. This is only a natural consequence of the development of your sexual energy, and it's happening every single day to those who discover it and use it. The third reason is for spiritual purposes. Although we in Charisma School don't focus much on the higher development of sexual energy for spiritual purposes, it's a very worthwhile use since it's a powerful energy used by many Eastern traditions. Again, it's all about your goals and what you want to achieve. Personally, I've always considered myself a spiritual person, yet without mastery over my own life and actually having a successful life on the outside, most of my spiritual pursuits in younger age were not very successful. There are still too many areas of my day-to-day life to deal with. How could I focus on a spiritual purpose or the spiritual uses of sexual energy if I couldn't even speak with a woman or date a woman without getting nervous and generating anxiety? How could I use it for other purposes if I couldn't even master it inside of myself? As important as sexual energy is for higher and more spiritual purposes, if you cannot master it in its outside manifestation on your daily life, it will be much harder to master its higher uses. This is like if you were a doctor that can even stitch up a small paper cut on the hand, but thinking it will be so much easier to do brain surgery. It's not. Focus on mastering the energy on your day-to-day life, then move on to the higher planes if it makes sense to you. At this moment, we have 2 courses that deals with sexual energy. Sexual Energy Mastery, where we dive really deep into your unconscious blocks and release them using a very effective method, as well as teaching you how to use, transmute, and deal with sexual energy. The second course, once you already recognize and know how to manipulate sexual energy, you can now transmit it to the outside. The course is called Sexual Magnetism and is intended to use to directly use in your daily life and project your own sexual energy to women. For more information, the rest of this series, a frequent newsletter on these topics, and more training courses on sexual energy, personal magnetism, charisma and magnetic gaze, visit charismaschool.com.